I'm very pleased to be with you this afternoon and also to present after Pamela that I have the opportunity to meet about a couple of months ago when the NASA had celebrated the great launch of the James Webb with our all employees in the site of Les Mureaux, which was a very important moment for all the employees participated to this important and very extraordinary project. So I'm going to talk about diversity in space today. I'm the Chief Human Resources Officer of ArianeGroup. I have joined the company a couple of years ago. I am not yet a full space engineer, but I have the pleasure to lead an HR team that is supporting every opportunity to make the future of ArianeGroup as best as possible in terms of performance through the diversity. And every element we have to make sure that we do recruit and develop the best people. So I'm going to take you through the 6 different elements of the diversity we are actually working with in ArianeGroup. Trust is about having the right team to deliver, as thrust is about mastering technologies. And we're trying to build together these 2 elements. In this fast-changing world of space, it is more and more important for ArianeGroup to be able to build diverse team, to make sure that we do not forget any kind of talent that we have within the company, bringing together the maximum of innovation and creativity through the development of our product. For us, the diversity is a lot more than the corporate responsibility. It is at the heart of what our employees and our managers are going through as a key element of our ArianeGroup identity. You will see that some of these initiatives have actually been not only pushed top-down by the top management, but brought to us at the management level or within the HR team, by the initiatives of different employees, thinking it was important for ArianeGroup to be supporting some of the diversity, for example, the cognitive diversity. ArianeGroup is ensuring its team are diverse to prevent any discrimination, but even more so to support the competencies, development, and also the career evolution of its own employees. For us, the richness of the plurality of the background is important to support innovation and creativity, and it is supporting to make possible career evolution through the company and its diverse type of product and activity from the civil launcher as well as the defense on the dual technology. We believe that the diversity element and the career evolution that it is encountered is supporting and ensuring motivation and preparing the future of ArianeGroup. I suggested to the organization team that I could take the last 5 or 7 minutes to answer some of your questions. So you have, I think, or you will have on the second screen, the QR code that you can use to send the questions you might have. So the first one, which is the gender diversity. Our goal is to attract every talent, and we should obviously not avoid to make every opportunity to build team with talent, with women and men. ArianeGroup is only having 20% of female employees, and we are hardly recruiting like many others in the space industry or aerospace industry, and making sure that we are also pushing our young students and women to make a career in the space industry. So to encourage this plurality of competencies and diverse point of view, we have different initiatives. We, for sure, as you can see on the left, are pushing very early our managers and employees to come and visit schools. Even on a very young age, we're using, for example, the Space Week to make sure that we are making young pupils and students discovering the space industry and the large opportunities of job and career. But we are also even more so supporting the scholarship and women in the technical and STEM studies, having our women engineers and managers and employees visiting the lycée, the high school, dedicating time to explain the different technology and job opportunities with this young future student to make sure that the women will choose the different STEM studies as well as the scientific future possibility of their development. We also are developing internal mentorship within the company so that when we do have the opportunity to develop our career, we ensure that we do not spend too much time in losing motivation and engagement through different barriers that we might encounter at the recruitment and during the development of the career. We also have pushed agreement in terms of representation with our union's employee representative for equality in remuneration and career evolution, which has led us to have a good balance and index score through the system in France for equality remuneration. And we are also working on training program and developing balance professional personal life action plan to make sure that the company has also an opportunity to support women and men at work and their development. On the right side, you see the picture of Sarah Gelbeng, who recently visited Kourou for a launch of Ariane 5. And this is called the Booster Award ArianeGroup, which is another initiative that may be even a little bit more mediatic than the one that I just presented to you earlier. This was initiated by our German colleagues, and it is supporting, for sure, women engineers and scientific in the STEM. The winner, which is Sarah Gelbing this year, has had the opportunity to be mentored by our CTO, and she's also been able to visit Kourou in June. And Sarah and Francisca, that you can see on the bottom picture, have the opportunity to meet also all the technical team and spend time visiting the different companies on the Kourou sites. For the future, we wish to have the opportunity to recruit up to 30% female engineers and women in ArianeGroup. This is our objectives, and it is part of our CSR objectives. Difficult to attain, but we will carry on boosting the different opportunities we have through the company processes in HR, as, for example, making sure that every succession plan for management as well as expert and senior management position in executive will have a woman in each succession planning. That we will carry on this development of mentorship, which we have at the moment set up with executive committee members mentoring some of our talent engineers and pushing even further some of these different actions. In terms of the disability diversity or other diversity, as you can see, there is pressed a bit too quick. This is a little movie presenting you one of our initiatives, which we have developed with an association, an NGO called Human Lab, My Human Kit, where the makers of the Human Lab have spent a few days with ArianeGroup, employees and engineers, to imagine, conceive, and technical solutions encountered by some of their disabled members. So how does it work? We have had for 3 years in a row the opportunity for our engineers for a few days spent on technical solutions to be developed for these disabled members. After the site of Les Mureaux and also Rennes in 2020. It was in Le Haillan in end of 21, close to Bordeaux, that ArianeGroup has welcomed the Fabricarium. On top of these specific initiatives, we are also developed some agreement in France with the specific AGFIP to develop employment for disabled people in ArianeGroup. And we are partnering also with another association called Envol to develop apprenticeship and recruitment through internship as well within our different sites. The third diversity is the generation diversity. ArianeGroup is taking actions to support employment of young and senior employees and to make sure that the integration of our young engineers gives its maximum on the early stage. We have an agreement signed also at the company level with the employer representative and unions, supporting the quality of life and a psychosocial risk action plan. We also are working through transfer knowledge programs early on to anticipate the evolution and the attrition of our engineers retiring and making sure that we develop the engineered capability through a proper transfer and mentorship program. We are also increasing our professional insertion employment contract, which is the back to work, people that are not today at work and that could come back through these specific programs that we have in France. We are about to recruit 450 people this year across the 2 countries, and we will do this mainly with the internship and apprenticeship as the capacity for us to develop our people and to recruit and integrate them later on. A lot of ambassadors programs have been set up as well with different schools and university, and facilitating also student onboarding and offboarding with an internal group, which is called Generation A, to support the career of our young engineers from the early on onboarding. And that is also an initiative that have been supported by the employees themselves. Fourth one is the background university. We do believe that further than to technical competencies, ArianeGroup is promoting background diversity for diverse and plural individual path and life experience. The lady you see here in picture, you might know her face, especially in France, well-known Astrid Guyard, who is an engineer that has been with us for more than 15 years, but she's also very well-known to be the vice-champion Olympics of fencing. She has grown up into an engineer and now a manager, in the same time managing her sports and a champion career. And we have, in ArianeGroup, supported this in making sure that throughout the life of the different sports events, she would have enough time to train and prepare for the competition, downsizing the time at work when it was necessary, or re-increasing it at the time when it was the time for her to be back. Her sports career is coming to an end as a sport person, but she's still very supporting the future Olympics game in Paris, and we are making sure that she has also the opportunity to develop herself into a management position that she is actually taking on the beginning of October. She's also supporting the leadership model, making sure that the model of the values of ArianeGroup are well presented by her experience outside for ArianeGroup in the sports domain. Social diversity, fifth one. Here we are contributing also to the local and regional areas where we are based in France and in Germany. We certainly supported this, especially with some specific town, like in Les Mureaux, where we have specific contract with the local town to support employment of the population into our company, as well as supporting also, here again, the gender diversity, but within specific local areas, priority town where there is social needs, but also in some more country region, where potentially in both areas the young female student will never think about taking a scientific technique or math future, and we are encouraging them with the opportunity of some of our engineers, female engineers, to be in charge as a mentorship of their future decision in terms of future university courses and future career development. The last one, and not the least, the cognitive diversity. For some of you, maybe this is new. For some of us, it's maybe something you know already. Here, as I said earlier in the introduction, we have actually followed the suggestion of some of our employees that have, on a voluntary basis, grouped together because they are part of this specific higher cognitive diversity, which brings a lot of talent. This is the people that are HPI or TDA or DIS, and we do, like probably most industries in space, having obviously these opportunities of talents and competencies that these people bring to the organization, and making sure that their diverse talent is actually well supported within the areas and the group and the team they're working with, allowing their potential to develop and to bring the maximum of performance for the team is something we will look with the group that have suggested this project. So as a conclusion, I am not here to highlight, as you might have seen, some very fancy or large initiatives, but more humble and down to the ground, well supported by employees, initiatives for diversity in ArianeGroup. And I do hope that this has opened for you the opportunity to think about diversity in a different way than only gender or even maybe disability or generation diversity. Maybe we still have 5 minutes for questions, if any. Let me see. Yes, there is some. What, shall I press? Oh, no? Okay, maybe I just say it loud. What do you need to see from academic sources to improve diversity, especially gender? Are there specific degrees, courses that candidates must have? Yes, and I was actually talking with some future potential partnership with the ESA earlier. We do have in the space industry issues because we obviously are today encountering a talent war like most of the engineering industry. And we probably would need to think through as well in creating more specific courses and dedicating more time in the way we actually make sure that some of the best engineers into the different technologies we need for the future will choose the space industry. So having the opportunity to partner together and strengthen the way we want to see the future of the space industry and the way we want to develop education and skills will, I believe, a priority. ArianeGroup announced a crew capsule. With the example of the car seat belt, we know what a lack of women engineer does. Will Susie's belt be safe for women? I have to say, I'm going to find it difficult to answer to this question. I do hope that this is something the engineering team have in mind, because yes, I believe it will be very important to have a woman probably very soon, and I hope a European, maybe Italian, who knows, stepping onto the moon. And I do hope that Susie will have the opportunity in the future to collaborate and support on this important moment. Similar to the question on Susie design, will it also include accessible design to include those with disabilities? For the moment, in the launcher, we are not working specifically on passenger human flight. Suzy is one of the first opportunities, so I will link my answer to the first one. For sure, this will have to be part of the design, as we want to make sure that we have women, men, and also people with some disabilities in the space in the future. How has your recruitment process developed to accommodate for this aim of increasing diversity? We have actually trained our recruiters, HR, but also the management, to make sure that we were taking every opportunity to kill bias in the way we were working on the job description, on the way we were presenting the challenges and the goals of the job, the way that we were down selecting CVs for gender or other diversities as well, that we were spending more time at looking at technical competencies and soft skills, not spending any more time on other origin of the person. How is the HR department changing their own practices to consider more diverse applicants, different background, education, without the bias? It has also, as I said, be a plus to work on the recruitment processes, but even more so now in terms of the talent selection and development for career evolution. We're pushing, as you heard, a lot the mentorship. And we will very soon develop a specific training for our women to ensure their strength and confidence in their capabilities, and to make sure that they push themselves to be more visible and with confidence applying to a bigger position with more expertise or leadership that they do today, as we have found that some of our managers and male managers having difficulties to actually be heard by them sometimes, that they do believe that they are ready for the next position. Maybe it's time to give the floor to the next presenter, which is also from the ArianeGroup big family in Ariane SAS, Emmanuel Franc. Thank you very much.